Erikson and the Age Stage Crisis by Heather L Nicole K. Erikson was one of the first modern theorists to propose a lifetime approach to psychological development. His proposed mentioned that all individuals go through 8 stages in their lives, and each stage is characterized by a crisis or a particular psychological challenge. He recognized that cultural and economic factors affect people's progressions through these stages. From age 1 to 65 years old, a human goes through 8 particular stages. Every stage has a virtue or a positive outcome, and every crisis has a negative outcome. Depending on culture, there is an expected chronology, yet these stages are not always in chronological order. Compared to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Freud's psychoanalysis, there is an illustration of identity, socialization, sense of belonging, and feeling of accomplishment. Erikson's first stage is trust versus mistrust. This happens during the baby's first year, when the baby depends on others to provide for food, comfort, and warmth. If these needs are not met, the child may never develop the essential trust in others to get along in the world. The second stage is autonomy, independence versus shame and doubt. This occurs when the child is still a toddler and is learning to be independent. And in order to successfully grow from this stage, they must do so without being ashamed or uncertain about their actions. The third stage is initiative versus guilt. In this stage, preschoolers are developing and acquiring new physical and mental skills, setting goals, and enjoying newfound talents. They must learn to control their impulses. The fourth stage is competence versus inferiority. In this stage, school-aged children learn to make things, use tools, and acquire the skills for their adult life. Children who fail these lessons of mastery and competence may feel inadequate and inferior. The fifth stage is identity versus role confusion, and it happens during the adolescence. This is where teenagers must decide who they are, what they're going to do, and make of their lives. Erikson used the term identity crisis to be the primary conflict of this stage. Those who resolve it will emerge with a strong identity and ready to plan for the future, and those who don't will most likely sink into confusion and unable to make decisions. The sixth stage is intimacy versus isolation, and it happens during the young adulthood. Once you have decided who you are, you must share yourself with another and learn to make commitments. According to Erikson, no matter how successful you are in your work, you are not complete until you're capable of intimacy. The seventh stage is generativity versus stagnation, and it occurs during the middle years. Now that you know who you are and have an intimate relationship, will you sink into complacency and selfishness, or will you experience generativity, creativity, and renewal? Parenthood is the most common route to generativity, but people can be productive, creative, and nurturing in other ways, like in their work or their relationships with the younger generations. The last stage is ego integrity versus despair. It's the final challenge of old age. As we age, people strive to reach the ultimate goals of wisdom, spiritual tranquility, and acceptance of their lives. Erikson said that just as a healthy child will not fear life, the healthy adult will not fear death.